Let us start by revising our previous lesson. We have talked about friction, air resistance, circular motion. Answer these questions. Why do tires and shoes have grooves? We said these types of shoes, they should have these grooves on it. Why? To make it easier to move? No. To overcome too much friction on a rough surface? Yes. To make a resistance to help to stop? Yes. And to move faster. So we need these grooves to start moving and to stop moving. To start moving, we need it to grab the floor so a person can, or a car can start move, and also we need it to stop moving. What is air resistance? We said that air resistance is the force between, it's the force that acts on objects to slow them down. Any object that move through air, it try to stop this object. What affects air resistance? If you remember, faster objects will face more air resistance, and also round and small shapes will face less air resistance. Okay, remember, what did we call it? The shape of the bird, the shape of the airplane, they are streamlining shape, they make less resistance. Okay, and also faster objects, they will make more resistance, air resistance. Remember this tool, we called it Newton meter, and it measures the weight of things. Okay, and we started to talk about the circular motion. We said everything on Earth, a lot of things on Earth will move in a circular motion. And in the circular motion is the motion of an object in a circle at a constant speed. Should have constant speed, very important. If the speed changes, it can't keep on moving in a circle. Okay, and we said that the force that points towards the center of the circle, it is called centripetal. Now let us answer together the homework. Your homework was in page 193, question 1, 2, and 3. Question 1, describe what might happen if a car tries to turn a corner too quickly on a slippery road surface. What do you think will happen to the car? Do you think the car will move in a circle, or it will keep going straight? Because there is water and it is slippery, there will be no force that keep the car going in a circle. So there will be no force to make the tire continue in a circle. So the car will keep moving straight. It can't turn. There should be a side force that keep turning it to the circle, but now because it is slippery, the car will keep moving forward. Now question 2, draw and label diagrams to show the direction of the frictional force needed from the road acting on a bicycle tires. You need to draw the frictional force. We said always friction works in the opposite direction of the motion. For example, here, the first question A, it is asking you when the cyclist pedals hard to go faster. يعني, you will draw this bicycle. Okay, now the cyclist is moving in a big force. Okay, he is pedaling in a big force. As much as you draw the force, there should be an equal force going to the other direction. And this force is called friction force. So this is the answer for question 2A. Okay, now 2B. When the cyclist turns a corner. Remember, this is a cycle. The car or a cycle, you can draw a cycle. It wants to keep going this direction. This is the force it is given. While the friction is going this direction واللي هي سميناها centripetal force. Okay, so centripetal force is a friction force that let the object, the car, the bicycle, move in a circle. So this is how you should draw it. You should draw the force of the cycle going this direction and the centripetal force اللي هي the friction force going to the center of the circle. This is the answer for 2B. Let us answer 2C. When the cyclist uses both brakes to stop quickly. The cycle, you have to draw a bicycle, right? And he stops. So there is no force letting the bicycle forward. There are two forces that will let the bicycle stop. The friction force, because the cyclist uses the brakes, so there will be a friction between the tire and the street, so the friction force going the other way direction, and also the air resistance going the other way. These two forces will make the cycle stops. Last question, question 3. What would happen to the motion of objects moving in a straight line if there was no friction or air resistance? If there is no friction and air resistance, what do you think will happen? The object will keep moving and never stop. يعني if there is no friction, all objects want to keep moving. Like the objects in the space, they never stop. Why? Because there is no friction, there is no air resistance. Okay, so this is the answer. You can find it in the PowerPoint. Please write down and draw question 1, 2, and 3 on your notebooks. I will check this homework. That was the last thing to talk about this lesson, اللي هو forces change motion. You have to read the key facts. They are so important. With no force, a stationary object stays still. Stationary object يعني an object that stay without moving. With no force, a moving object continues at constant speed in a straight line. يعني objects that are stationary, they want to keep at rest. They don't want to move. And objects that are moving, they don't want to stop. They want to keep moving unless there is a force that affects on these objects. If a force is applied to an object, it changes speed and direction. Turning to a corner requires a sideways or centripetal force. A force acting forwards speeds an object up. A force slows an object down. So forward, it will make the object go faster. Backwards, it will make the objects go slower. Like the friction is a force between surfaces that slow things down.